Good evening, you're now with me, Hani Gui, for Tvs Nightline, and here are the headlines for tonight. Sarawak Governor Tun Pehin Sri Dr. Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar welcomes a delegation from the Regional Corridor Development Authority. The Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission continues to receive unwavering support from the Sarawak Premier in its ongoing efforts to combat corruption. The roads from Mara Selangking to Nangasela and Tanjung Pauh in Bukit Saban, Betong are set to be upgraded with a 26 million ringgit allocation. The roads from Mara Selangking to Nangasela and Tanjung Pauh in Bukit Saban, Betong, Sarawak are set to be upgraded soon, and Sarawak Deputy Premier and Bukit Saban Assemblyman Dato' Amar Douglas Ugah Embas announced that 26 million ringgit has been allocated for this purpose.
Di sini ke jalai Mara Selangking Nangasela Tanjung Pauh kau sama-sama kau nambah ke pemenah lagi. Jadi bajet ke udah di kemendai ke dia tu hanya 26 juta kena agak jalai bulan 7 ketika tenda ya awak ke kita itu tahu berkah. Jadi itu program kita di Bukit Saban itu ngadu ke nambah ke pemenah jalai kita laban dunia makin hari makin mansang.
He said this in his speech at the groundbreaking ceremony to upgrade the Penyulok Nanga Penebak Ulu Penebak Road in Ulu Layar, Betong earlier today. Regarding the upgrade project for Penyulok Penebak, Ulu Penebak and Ulu Layar roads, he urged all parties involved, especially local residents, to cooperate fully with the implementing agency and contractors to ensure no issues arise during the project's execution. Additionally, the Penyulok Penebak, Ulu Penebak and Ulu Layar roads, covering a distance of 4.9 kilometers, will cost 15 million ringgit and are expected to be completed by December 2025. Upon completion, the road project will benefit 3 other longhouses beyond Rumah Panjang Kelimbang Jaman in Penyulok, which are Rumah Maung Jalani in Naga 3, Rumah Tayan Gani in Naga Penebak, and Rumah Radin Wilson in Ulu Penebak. Meanwhile, Ugah highlighted the Sarawak government's efforts in developing rural areas, which are increasingly evident and felt by the communities. He pointed out that the way of life has changed greatly in local communities like Bukit Saban when compared to the standard of living in 1977.
Aku mendak gaya insur pemansang kita menurut itu jauh dalam kandang hari tahun 1977 ngagai ke dia tu ngagai bukan semena hari api kita sudah bisi, air kita bisi, jalai kita itu nukok mana, jalai kepsainya pun sudah mana, dia punya penghidup kita dia menurut itu jauh mana.
He emphasized that such development would not have been possible without the unwavering support of the Bukit Saban community for the leadership of Gabungan Parti Sarawak.
The Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC continues to receive unwavering support from the Premier of Sarawak, Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, in its ongoing efforts to combat corruption. According to the Director of MACC Sarawak, Dato' Muhammad Zaki Hassan, a key initiative in the collaboration between MACC and the Sarawak government is the establishment of the Integrity and Ombudsman Unit within the Premier's Department of Sarawak. This unit aims to enhance transparency and uphold integrity within the state's governance.
Dan kita di Sarawak ini juga mendapat sokongan yang amat baik daripada Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Patinggi Premier kerana sokongan beliau terhadap usaha-usaha SPRM dalam pencegahan rasuah. Pihak kami juga SPRM Sarawak amat berbangga sebab kita dapat take part dalam usaha Sarawak dalam usaha menubuhkan ombudsman. Kita merupakan satu jawatan kuasa yang memberi pandangan dan dari aspek penguatkuasaan.
At the same time, Muhammad Zaki said MACC Sarawak is also enhancing governance at the departmental level while conducting awareness activities for the community regarding the Anti-Corruption Bureau.
Kita juga menjalankan aktiviti pencegahan dan untuk menyedarkan masyarakat di Sarawak secara khasnya tentang bahaya rasuah, dan kita juga concentrate kepada tata kelola governance, iaitu untuk memperbaiki mana-mana prosedur yang dilihat boleh membuatkan kebocoran kepada dana-dana yang ada di Sarawak ni. So kita bertindak sebagai menasihati kepada jabatan-jabatan yang berkenaan.
He said this during a farewell courtesy call to the Sarawak Premier at Wisma Bapa Malaysia earlier today. This courtesy visit was a mark of respect and to inform Abang Johari that he will begin his new role as the Director of the Governance Investigation Division at the MACC headquarters in Putrajaya.
Sarawak Governor Tun Pehin Sri Dr. Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar and his wife, Puan Fauziah Muhammad Sanusi, received a courtesy visit from a delegation of Recoda, led by its Chief Executive Officer, Datuk Ismawi Ismuni, at Astana Negeri, Sarawak earlier today. The visit aimed to brief Tun Dr. Wan Junaidi on the roles and responsibilities of Recoda.
Kita mengambil peluang ini untuk memaklumkan kepada Tun mengenai peranan Recoda, tanggungjawab kita serta semua agensi-agensi wilayah di bawah Recoda iaitu URDA, HDA dan NRDA mengenai apa yang dirancang dan apa yang dalam pelaksanaan pihak Recoda, baik dari segi pelaburan maupun dari segi pelaksanaan projek fizikal, termasuk juga projek-projek sosioekonomik, program sosioekonomik dan juga inisiatif pendapatan rakyat ataupun bantuan miskin tegar yang dilaksanakan oleh pihak Recoda.
Datuk Ismawi said this to reporters following the courtesy call. He also highlighted the latest developments and planned projects under Recoda, including the Upper Rajang Development Agency, the Highland Development Agency, and the Northern Region Development Agency. The projects discussed include the Northern Coastal Highway, which will link Miri, Limbang, and Lawas, along with road projects that will improve connectivity to the UNESCO World Heritage Site, Mulu National Park. Additionally, Recoda introduced local products from SCORE, such as salt, rice, kalulu tani, and coffee, to support and promote local entrepreneurs. Empowering the local community is essential for achieving the post-COVID-19 Development Strategy PCDS 2030, Sustainable Development Goals SDGs, and the Sarawak Green Economy Agenda. Recoda is instrumental in managing and overseeing the development plans of the Sarawak Corridor of Renewable Energy, or SCORE, attracting investors and generating job opportunities in Sarawak with the full support of the Sarawak government.
Sarawak Governor Tun Pehin Sri Dr. Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar earlier today welcomed representatives from Mau Nation, an organisation that unites 7 generations of the Mau family in Sarawak. During the visit, they extended an invitation to Wan Junaidi to attend the Mau Festival Convention, scheduled to take place from July 5th to 7th in Kuching.
The chairman of the organizing committee, Cecil Adnan, said this year's 7th edition of the convention will bring together thousands of family members residing abroad in countries like Norway, Australia and Singapore, as well as from outside Sarawak.
Masa Leong ada 13 anak. Jadi kita sekarang hampir complete kita punya family tree. Kita buat susunan ini. Sebab susunan ini termasuk dengan keluarga di Rosario, iaitu asal daripada Portugis. So basically it is to meet. Kita first day kita ada workshop where we sit down and susun dan tambah yang baru, the children who come up, those who get married, apa semua, so to complete the family tree. Family tree ni takkan complete. Every year there's changes. Ada yang telah meninggal.
Cecile added that the convention is essential for strengthening the bonds between all members of the Mao family worldwide. The Mao lineage in Sarawak began when 3 Mao siblings, Mao Sha Leong, Mao Engkui, and Mao Leong Kui, migrated from mainland China to Cebu, Sarawak. Interestingly, Engkui is the great-grandfather of the late former Chief Minister of Sarawak, Pen Sri Tan Sri Adenan Satem.
The proposed construction of an electric substation in Sibuyao is part of a long-term plan expected to enhance the area's electricity supply capacity. General Manager of Rural Electrification at Sarawak Energy Berhad, Nazri Abdul Latif, said the proposed new substation will separate the power supply source from the Asajaya substation.
Untuk mengasingkan bekalan elektrik untuk Simunjan dan juga Sibuyao, agar ia dapat di supply from 2 different feeders. So itu kita telah akan membelanjakan sebanyak 600 ribu untuk program tersebut. Sementara untuk jangka masa panjang kita juga telah submit budget. Kita juga telah bekerjasama dengan pihak kerajaan, pihak MDP untuk membina talian MVCC daripada subsection Asajaya ke Sibuyao dan juga ke Simunjan. Dan di Sibuyao nanti kita akan membina sebuah subsection yang baru.
Additionally, the plan includes installing insulated cables with a medium voltage covered conductor or MVCC system in Sadong Jaya, Sibuyao and the Simunjan area, which can withstand contacts with trees without causing disruptions. The proposal, including the budget for this long-term project, has been submitted and is currently awaiting approval. At the same time, efforts are underway to install an underground supply grid from the Surian substation to Gedong district and subsequently to Simunjan district.
Welcome back. Chinese Premier Li Qiang was accorded an official welcome at Perdana Square, Putrajaya for his official 3-day visit to Malaysia. Upon his arrival at 9:30 a.m., Premier Li was greeted by Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, followed by the national anthems of both countries.
Li then inspected the Honour Guard, consisting of 3 officers and 103 members of the 1st Battalion of the Royal Malay Regiment, led by Major Adibadu Shah Ahmad. The ceremony was attended by both Deputy Prime Ministers, Datuk Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi and Datuk Sri Fadilah Yusof, along with cabinet ministers, foreign diplomats and senior government officials. Subsequently, Li and Anwar held a bilateral meeting to discuss the relations between Malaysia and China, as well as exchange views on regional and international issues of mutual interest. This marks Li's first visit to Malaysia since assuming office in March of last year. Prime Minister Anwar, in a statement on Facebook, reiterated Malaysia's commitment to fostering crucial relations with China for the prosperity of its people and the entire region.
Now, Malaysia and China have signed a Memorandum of Understanding (MOU) to establish an expertise exchange program in science and technology. This new MOU builds upon the Science, Technology and Innovation Cooperation Agreement that the two countries signed on October 4, 2013. Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Chang Lee Kang, highlighted that this initiative aligns with the goals of Malaysia's new Industrial Master Plan NIMP 2030, which strategically focuses on innovation-driven economic growth and value-added activities.
Additionally, the MOU will spearhead a scope of collaborations, including scientists and researcher exchange programs, collaborations between research institutions, and the joint organization of academic programs and conferences with international scientists and research participation. The signing of the MOU was held earlier today in conjunction with the official visit of Chinese Premier Li Qiang to Malaysia. The exchange of MOU documents between Chang and the Chinese ambassador to Malaysia, Ouyang Eugene, was witnessed by Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim. Meanwhile, Chang mentioned that the bilateral cooperation between Malaysia and China is expected to contribute to the empowerment of knowledgeable and highly skilled talents, driving the development of strategic high-impact industries in the country. In 2023, China remained Malaysia's largest trading partner for the 15th consecutive year since 2009, with a trade value of 450.84 billion ringgit. The relationship between Malaysia and China continues to strengthen following the enhancements of bilateral ties through a comprehensive strategic partnership initiated in 2013.
The federal government has approved a cloud seeding operation in Kelantan scheduled from June 21st to June 23rd to counteract the dwindling water levels in Kelantan River and alleviate the effects of the current heat wave and the ongoing southwest monsoon. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi announced the initiative following a request from the Kemubu Agricultural Development Authority.
Zahid, who also presides as the chairman of the Central Disaster Management Committee, said this effort involves coordination between the National Disaster Management Agency, the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, the Malaysian Meteorological Department, and the Royal Malaysian Air Force. He also approved the use of 5 million ringgit from the National Disaster Relief Trust Fund to ensure the success of the operation. Ahmad Zahid said the low rainfall recorded from February to April this year has contributed to the depletion of the Kelantan River's water level and disrupted the operation of pumps across the Kada area. According to him, for the Kemubu pump house to operate fully, the Kelantan River needs to reach a water level of 4.9 meters, but Kada recorded only 2.19 meters in the second week of April. As such, he expressed hope that this effort can provide sufficient water resources in the catchment areas during the hot and dry weather, particularly in Kelantan.
Malaysia's ambassador to Moscow, Datuk Cheon Loon Lai, has announced the decision and process for Malaysia to join BRICS will be spearheaded by Putrajaya. However, he said it is still too early to provide further details on the matter.
Cheong said this when asked by reporters to comment on Malaysia's intention to join the BRICS group, as stated by Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim on Monday. In an interview with Chinese media outlet Guancha, Anwar said Malaysia would soon begin the official procedures to join the intergovernmental organization. BRICS was established in 2009 as a cooperation platform for rapidly developing economies, initially comprising Brazil, Russia, India, and China, with South Africa joining in 2010. In January 2024, Iran, Egypt, Ethiopia, and the United Arab Emirates also joined the organization as new members. While Moscow welcomes new BRICS members, it has set a key criterion that countries aspiring to join must not participate in unauthorized unilateral sanctions. When asked about Malaysia-Russia bilateral relations, Cheong said the Malaysian embassy in Moscow is optimistic that Malaysia-Russia relations, especially in the trade sector, will continue to strengthen in the coming years. He added that Malaysia-Russia relations are progressing very well and both countries will continue to cooperate.
In an apparent warning to the West, Russian President Vladimir Putin said a new treaty signed between North Korea and Russia provides for mutual assistance in case either country faces aggression. Putin visited the repressive state more than 2 years into Moscow's offensive that has ruptured ties with Western countries, which accused North Korea of supplying Moscow with weapons for use in Ukraine.
Подписанный сегодня договор о всеобъемлющем партнерстве предусматривает в том числе оказание взаимной помощи в случае агрессии против одного из участников этого документа.
He called it a breakthrough document that will bring out relations to a new level. Putin also did not rule out military technical cooperation with North Korea and thanked the reclusive country for its support of Moscow's actions in Ukraine. North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un, meanwhile, praised Putin as North Korea's dearest friend.
조선민주주의 정부는 세계 전략적 안정과 균형을 유지하는 데서 강력한 러시아 연방이 맡고 있는 중요한 사명과 역할에 대해서 평가하며 자기 주권과 안전리 영토 완전을 수호하기 위하여 우크라이나에서의 특수군사 작전을 수행하고 있는 러시아 정부와 원대한 인민의 투쟁에 전적인 지지와 굳은 연대성을 표시합니다.
Putin's trip came as Russia now joins North Korea as one of the most heavily sanctioned countries in the world. The longtime Russian leader said Moscow and Pyongyang will stand together to resist the strangling of Western sanctions. He furthermore said that UN sanctions on the North Korean regime, one of the most repressive in the world, should be re-examined. His comment came after Russia earlier this year used its veto power at the UN to effectively end official UN monitoring of sanctions on North Korea, a major win for Pyongyang. Israeli airstrikes and clashes between troops and Palestinian militants rocked Gaza on Wednesday as Israel's army warned it had readied an offensive against the Lebanese Hezbollah movement on the country's northern front. Witnesses and the Civil Defense Agency in the Gaza Strip reported Israeli bombardment in western Rafah, where medics said drone strikes and shelling killed at least 7 people. The Israeli military has announced a daily humanitarian pause in fighting on a key road in eastern Rafah, but a UN spokesman said days later, this has yet to translate into more aid reaching people in need. More than 8 months of war have led to dire humanitarian conditions in the Palestinian territory and repeated UN warnings of famine. UN Deputy Spokesman Farhan Haq said the Rafah border crossing between Gaza and Egypt has been shut since Israeli troops seized its Palestinian side in early May, while nearby Karim Shalom on the Israeli border is operating with limited functionality. He told reporters that in recent weeks, there had been an improvement in aid reaching northern Gaza but a drastic deterioration in the south. According to the Gazan Health Ministry, Israel's siege has killed at least 37,396 people in Gaza, mostly women and children. The war has sent also tensions soaring across the region with violence involving Iran-backed Hamas allies. The Israeli military, which has traded near-daily cross-border fire with Lebanon's Hezbollah since October, said late Tuesday that operational plans for an offensive in Lebanon were approved and validated. Diplomats on Tuesday said at least 550 pilgrims died during the Hajj, underscoring the strenuous nature of the pilgrimage, which again unfolded in scorching temperatures this year. At least 323 of those who died were Egyptians, most of them succumbing to heat-related illnesses, while another 68 were identified as Indian pilgrims. The diplomats added at least 60 Jordanians also died. According to an AFP tally, the new deaths bring the total reported so far by multiple countries to 577. The pilgrimage is increasingly affected by climate change, where temperatures in the area where rituals are performed were rising 0.4 degrees Celsius each decade. Saudi officials had advised pilgrims to use umbrellas, drink plenty of water, and avoid exposure to the sun during the hottest hours of the day. Some pilgrims poured bottles of water over their heads as volunteers handed out cold drinks and fast-melting chocolate ice cream to help them keep cool. However, many of the Hajj rituals, including the prayers on Mount Arafat, which took place on Saturday, involve being outdoors for hours in the daytime. Some pilgrims described seeing motionless bodies on the roadside and ambulance services that appeared overwhelmed at times. According to Saudi authorities, around 1.8 million pilgrims took part in the Hajj this year, 1.6 million of them from abroad. A fire that tore through a huge military ammunition depot in Chad's capital, N'Djamena, killed at least 9 people and wounded dozens more. The blaze, which started late on Tuesday, sent powerful blasts into the night sky, and exploding ordnance shook buildings miles away. Chad's Health Minister Abdel Majid Abdurrahim said the death toll was in danger of rising, as many of the 46 wounded were in extremely serious condition. A visit to the scene Wednesday revealed unexploded shells and other munitions scattered on the ground and the burnt-out wreckage of what looked like military vehicles. Government spokesman Abdirahman Kulamala said the cause was not criminal, but an investigation was underway. See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally. For more headlines anytime, anywhere, just head on to our official website at tvsarawak.my or follow us on our social media platforms. Those were the updates on TVS Nightline. I'm Handy Gui. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.